Unmute. And hello there, chat. Welcome to a Saturday night stream. I'm feeling all right. I have already had my wine for the night, and this is now tea. So we're cruising, ready to get some shit done tonight. So let's start off with thanking our new folks who've joined us. We got a couple new followers. We got Handy670. Thanks for joining our little gang. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's it for this week. Poor Grain, I think, was last week, but thank you again. And had a new person in Discord as well. If you're out there, SIGINT, thanks for joining us. And for anybody else who hasn't joined the Discord yet, let me grab the link, because that is a good place to show your work and get fancy stuff from the stream, like plugins and recommendations, and just generally shoot the shit and share your work and get help debugging and stuff like that. So, here is that. Where is my window? There we go. Honk to Teeth Engraved. Welcome. Alright. Let's see, what else do we have on deck today? Get my shit together here. Too many windows. Is the camera working? Is the sound working? I think everything's working. Yeah, we're golden. Cheers, chat. Oh, let's see. Oh, yes. Doing my first goal. So, we're doing a little sub-goal this week. If we manage to hit 10 subscriptions, not just this week, just sort of whenever, you know, I don't have anywhere to be, really. If we hit 10 subscriptions, then I'm going to do a gaming stream, just for the hell of it. And we'll probably vote in the Discord about what game I'm going to play. You can probably watch me fail at Bloodborne repeatedly. That would be a good time. Or maybe play some fighting games with my other half. We play DBZ and Street Fighter a lot, and Mortal Kombat. It's a good time. Yeah, we'll vote on a few options. It'll take me a little bit of technical setup to actually be able to do a gaming stream. I need to get a capture card and stuff, so it might not happen immediately. But yeah, 10 subscription goal. Watch me fail at video games for a week just for the fuck of it. That's the goal. Alright, so those, I guess, are the announcements for the week. Let's get down to some business. And we'll start off with some music. I showed you last week something that we were working on in the band. This is something else that we're working on right now. A little bit more in the kind of black metal vein, but with synths, and just added some guitar today, so let's start off with that. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna turn some stuff down. We're, again, still kind of in photograph mode here, where we haven't arranged anything yet. This is just instruments. Anyway, so yeah, that's a taste. Now that I've chased you all off. Yeah, a little show and tell to start off while I finish my tea, I figured. And, yeah, if anybody enjoys that stuff, here's our Bandcamp. I'll throw it on in here with the Discord. And we'll get on down to work. This is what we're going to be jamming with this week. Alright, I am determined, chat. This week we are going to get notes into our Max for Live PlayStation 3 synth. I want to be able to play notes from here. We've got the joystick mappable, and that is sick. Last week we added the minimum maximum controls so that we could get kind of detailed with it. This week, notes. We're porting them over. And I made a little bit of progress while y'all weren't looking. And that is, this now looks a little bit more neat and tidy. Speaking English correctly. So we're connected with our menu here. And when I hit the buttons, this was a pain in the ass last time. If you remember, maybe not last time, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. But we were trying to get these bits right here, these note patches, to not jostle around when we hit our buttons. And now they are aligned. And I will share with you my process on that real quick. This is what I Googled. I Googled bpatcher max MSP set coordinates. And that led me, after a couple of links, to over here. Replicating bpatcher offset in main patch. And this person is doing something complicated with multiple windows, but what stuck out to me is they said, what I would like to do is be able to send a message to the patch, similar to the offset message in a bpatcher, to change the view and presentation mode to something different within the patch. And I was like, offset message, you say? Well, that sounds vaguely familiar and like something that might be relevant. And I opened up the help patch for bpatcher and saw this helpful tab here. And I think this is the main lesson to take away here. Make sure to check all these tabs in the reference documentation. It's really helpful. So under offsets here, they show you this cool example where you can click tabs here to change your interface around just by sending the offset message to your bpatcher. And after poking around at this a little bit, I understand that you have essentially 3 things to keep track of. If you open up the inspector for a bpatcher, and this is all just minutia for user interface stuff, but if you want to make your patch look pretty, and making it look pretty is making it usable, and that's the important part, then this is kind of important. You have these 3 things to worry about here. Offset is where your bpatcher renders the stuff inside of it. So if I were to type in, let's just, for the heck of it, type in 2020 here instead of 00, you see how our patch jumps over a little bit? And now these aren't lined up and they don't look good. So I had to set all of these to 00. Patching rectangle is where your bpatcher, or really any object, is located within your patch. So if we get out of presentation mode and I drag this over here, you see how the patching rectangle changes? That's what those numbers signify. Zoom back out. And presentation rectangle is the same, except it's in presentation mode. So in order to make these all overlay cleanly, I had to select each of them and make sure they were all set to the same 4 numbers here in presentation rectangle. Whoops. And now we can show and hide them with this kind of messy looking nonsense up here where we're saying script show or script hide to each of these bpatchers. And now when we hit a button, we can see the button here that we're controlling. Nice. So yeah, we're going to move this over into our Max for Live version. That's the mission for today. I'm going to open that up in here fresh. Let's get a MIDI track going. And let's open up Mapper 2. And right now it says drop instrument here. And that's because this is set up to be processing audio, and we need it to be processing MIDI as well. So let's look at an example for that. This is the first thing we need to figure out. We're essentially turning this into a Max instrument instead of a MIDI controller. And this is the first step towards being able to actually do the sound design half of it, which we started right at the beginning, if you remember. But we want to make swooshy sounds with this eventually. And at the same time, be able to control any other synths that we have open in here. Hey, there's people here! I'm sorry, I got so lost in my thoughts. What is up, Beard Pills? Thanks, I'm glad you think it's sick. And what is up, Penguin? How are you doing? Thanks for joining us on this fine Saturday. I hope you're doing well. Did you stream today as well? I'm afraid I was out for a walk for most of the day. But, yeah, we are here now. And I have to remember how to work, okay, with MIDI within Max for Live. And then we're going to make some sounds with it. That's the plan. So a Max instrument says take MIDI in from wherever within Live, and then connect it to plug out is going to send audio out. So what we need is not quite that right now. Let's take a look. We don't need this yet. Let's take a look at the MIDI instrument example, because I want to know how to send MIDI notes. That's our mission for tonight. Max MIDI effect. MIDI in to MIDI out. All right, pretty simple. That's what we need. We don't need MIDI in because we are taking our PlayStation controller in using the HI object. Let's open this bad boy up. We need MIDI out. And we already scooted our little scale patch in here. I'm still so thrilled with how small and tidy that is. It's going to go live over here. So, we do need a MIDI out object. And remember my usual rule of thumb? Oh, Penguin says, no, I was just playing today after I finished work. Nice. Sweet. Were you playing some more Apex, or were you doing Fortnite, or what? Mission accomplished. Thank you, Beard Fills. Yeah. I've still never tried any of those first-person team shooter games like Fortnite and Apex, though they're really fun to watch. Maybe I'll do that for a larger subscription goal. If I get like 20 or 30 subscriptions, so you guys can watch me absolutely fail at Fortnite. Oh, jeez. For 10 subscriptions, though, you can watch me play a game that I don't completely suck at. Probably be something like Bloodborne or Doom or a fighting game. It depends what I can get set up. Anyway, alright, so yeah. Rule of thumb is one thing at a time. So we're going to grab just one of these little bee patchers here and do one button. Let's start with square. Happy little square button. We're going to drag this over here. Alright. We're going to put them down here. And what we want to do is translate this. There's a few things in this interface we don't need anymore, though. And we want to send notes from here directly to MIDI out so that we can then send it to something right within Ableton instead of having to have our patch open at the same time. Alright, we want to open this guy up. Let's go Object, Open, Original. Penguin says, I played some Apex with Dr. Yesaya. Yeah, I've never tried to say his name out loud. And then Fortnite with Sarah, nice. Yeah, you guys are really fun to watch play that stuff. I have never tried it, but it's on my list. It really does look fun. Pretty much the only first-person shooter I've played is Doom Eternal. It's a good time, though, and I just couldn't not play that because I like death metal. The soundtrack is so awesome. Alright, so we're going to do a save as here, because we want to leave this available to our other patch without breaking it. And here we're going to take out some stuff we don't need. So we're going to call this Note Button M for L, Max for Live. Cool. So, here's where our note out is. And instead of that, I think what we want to do, we've got velocity coming in from several different places here. We've got Midi port. We don't need that anymore. And we've got note number. That's our pitch coming in here. And we don't need channel. So instead of this, we could put a Midi out object directly in here. But that makes me concerned because I don't know how Ableton is going to react to having more than one Midi out in your patch. And this kind of ties into the idea of the solid design principle, which actually got mentioned in my Discord a little while ago from Beard Pills. And an important part of that is not trying to do too much in one place. You want your patch sections, just like in any program, you want sections to have one responsibility and not try to do too many things all at once. It seems like organization sometimes if you're able to bring things together into one place, but sometimes that gets too complicated and you have too many things trying to occupy the same space and it gets really messy and hard to debug. So this patch here is only responsible for playing notes. And you can see how complicated that got, even just by itself. This is only responsible for turning notes on and off again, but then you have to take into account where are those notes being triggered from? Where's the scale coming from? What is the velocity? How loud are they? That's being controlled by a couple different things. And so we want to keep this as encapsulated as we can so that it doesn't have to worry about things like that. The scale lives outside of the note patch. This is where we handle scales. This only handles playing notes. And that is to say, this is why I'm going to use outlets here. I'm not going to put a Midi out object directly into this B patch because then we're going to have 10 copies of it or whatever. Instead, we're just going to say, send the note stuff out, and we'll deal with it somewhere else. All right, outlet. Outlet. 2 of them. And we have to be careful not to fuck up these patch cords here. Boop. And this is why I did a save as. Oh, and Penguin says, we will always try with you one day. Okay, yeah, you guys would be friendly to play with. I will totally be hitting you up if we do that. Another one I've been wanting to do is Among Us. I've still never played Among Us. I really want to try that sometime. It looks like lots of fun. Essentially, the thing standing in my way is I need to set up my PC for streaming. And I'm going to have to do that anyway because I want to be able to do some VSTs as well. And that requires a Windows environment for Rack AFX, which is the thing I like to use for VSTs. Alright, we're going to delete this bad boy. Boop! We're going to label these because we leave comments because we're good programmers. Velocity. And note number. Right. Okay. Let's see how that goes. Hopefully, there's nothing else that we need to change here. What is this doing again? Receive R3. Oh yes, this is for toggle mode. Okay, no, we're going to leave all of this alone because all of these receives should automatically be tied into this patch here. This is where we named all of the sends that go with them. You can see L1, L2, R1, R2, R3, L3. So hopefully this should just work because we designed these things to have their own little corners. This does nothing except handle our input and translate it into something our patch can use using these sends and receives. This does nothing but handle scales. And this does nothing but handle playing notes. So, we've changed nothing except we've added outlets here. And we're going to connect it up to a Midi out. And we're going to hope for the best. I hope I saved that. I think I did. Alright. And we need to change this patcher file over to be not note button, but our new one, note button M for L. Okay. Nothing else changes. This is still square button. And if square button works, then all the other ones do. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you liked my explanation of solid. There's more to it than that. To be honest, like, I haven't had to study it in a little while, and I've been meaning to Google it to kind of brush up on it, but that's kind of the everyday usage of it that I keep in my brain. I think the most important part of solid is to make sure that it keeps you honest, it keeps your patches and your programs easier to debug because you're dividing things into manageable chunks. There's not too much overlap. If I had scales and input from our PlayStation 3 controller all squeezed into this, it'd be a huge mess. It'd be really hard to debug. But now we know, because we have these three sections, like, if I'm hitting buttons on the PlayStation 3 and we're not getting these flashing note on-off buttons here, then we know there's something wrong with this bit of our patch. If I'm playing and we're getting the wrong notes out, I know there's something wrong with the scales part. If I'm playing and notes are getting stuck, then I know there's something wrong with this part of the patch that controls note on-off. It immediately tells me where I need to go to start debugging and tearing shit apart. And that is so valuable as your patch gets larger and more out of control, and therefore easier to break. So that's the lesson for today. Keep your shit in separate little corners, and that's my sort of punk rock explanation of solid. There is more to it, though. It's worth reading up on, but that's sort of the bit of it that I use on a daily basis. Alright, so there's note number, there's velocity. Here's MIDI out. So let's do a little test here. What is MIDI out expecting? Let's pull open a synth, and let's just do a test here. It looks like MIDI out expects a message. So this looks like note number, and then, there's two numbers here. So this is raw MIDI data. 144, 60, 60. So starts a note, stops a note, switching to another port. I'm confused at why there are three numbers here. Maybe this is duration? So where does this say what these mean? This just says start a note. This is not great as far as documentation goes. So message. Displays and sends any given message with the capability to handle specified arguments. That's not helpful. Output. Okay. Let's see. About port channel arguments for MIDI input. So these are examples with note out. That's what we've used before. Interesting. That doesn't really help us. So I guess what I'm curious about is, let's look at another Maxim SP instrument within Live. Here's an idea. So when the documentation fails like that, it didn't really tell us what those three numbers meant. When that fails, go look at an example. So let's see what we have here. Dr. Chaos. That looks like a good time. Yeah, let's do a new MIDI track. And let's grab an instrument. Time to make some sound, chat. Oh, hey! There's no people here. I'm sorry. I tuned out of chat for a second. Beard pills. Yes, like modules. Yes, that's right. Module is kind of a general concept, but that's definitely something that is important that you'll see over and over again in different languages. JavaScript divides things up into modules. Ruby also does. Yeah, I think a module is a good word for dividing your code into sections. And joy of missing out. You can stream remote play to Twitch from PS4 if you want to skip the capture card. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll look into that. That might be easier. I do have a PS4. That would be cool. And Penguin says, what kind of rock do you like? Like Rammstein? Yeah, dude, I like Rammstein. I like lots of stuff, man. I'm all over the place. I like rock. I like metal. All kinds of metal. I like a lot of punk. I kind of grew up on punk and blues, and I played classical when I was really little. I like bits and pieces of jazz. Certainly not really an aficionado there, but certainly bits and pieces. Beardville says, "Cool beans, thank you." Yeah, no problem. I try to teach stuff as we go here. Man, yeah, I'm all over the place. I like me some 80s hair metal too. I like a lot of 90s kind of alt rock stuff. The list goes on and on. Pretty much the only thing I don't like is radio country. And even there's like one song that's a guilty pleasure. Depends on the mood, really. We make a lot of techno, we make a lot of metal. It really depends on mood. So yeah, let's make us some sounds here. It's time for sound. It's been too long since we made sounds. We need a pad or something. Actually, we need something more like a pluck. Let's go find my favorite pluck. Is in where the hell Generate lives in Newfangled? Yeah. I love this synth. It's so cool. I will drop this in the Discord. A link to this anyway. I wouldn't be pirating it. This is awesome and worth paying for. Generate by Newfangled Audio is some badass shit. A friend of mine even did some of the presets here. Anthony Baldino. I went to school with him. Yeah, let's do pitchy plucks. Always good. Go up an octave. So yeah, we're gonna do some trippy little sort of arpeggio stuff with this. But what I want to do is figure out how we're supposed to send notes through Max for Live to this. And I can open up this friggin' Dr. Chaos patch to do it, because I've never looked at this before. But essentially, I just want an example to look at. How do we send MIDI through here? And I guess that's another little programming thing to share, is when you get stuck on something, half the time the reason is that you don't have a good question to ask. Once you know what you don't know, then you're halfway to getting it. I had a problem at work last week that literally took me most of the day because there were so many variables to figure out as far as what it was supposed to do. Actually, programming the thing took me like an hour, and figuring out what the goal was took me like 6 hours. So let's unlock this, get it out of presentation mode. We're not going to break it, but what I want to see is the output. So we're looking for some kind of a MIDI out, which must be here somewhere. Yep, there it is. MIDI out. All right. Interesting. So it's just connected to a MIDI in. Huh. There's a lot of shit going on here. This is not a good example to work off of. We want something simpler. Well, here's the next strategy. Poke it and see what works. Let's go back in here. Let's bring this over here. Let's get back in here. And we're going to say, I suppose we need a MIDI in to MIDI out because we need live to allow us to put this first in the chain. So we'll just be passing MIDI. That's fine. Let's save this. Now we can scoot this over here without Ableton complaining, I think. Hey, insert audio effects after instruments? The fuck? This is not an audio effect. This is currently a MIDI effect. I have a MIDI in. What the hell? Alright. Fine. Don't save. I have another trick up our sleeve, chat. Let's see. Let's open up a Max instrument. Hey, it got rid of our generate. Damn it, Ableton. Quit being mean today. Alright, we're going to open this. Because this is what we eventually want. But no, we want a MIDI out here. So really, let's get rid of this. Let's get a max MIDI effect. We're going to work off of this guy. And let's go get our generate again. Hang in here, chat. We're going to figure this out. And soon we'll be making sounds. Let's open this back up. Pitchy plucks. And let's just play with this by itself for a second. Then we're going to copy and paste our patch in here. That's the plan. So MIDI out. And messages, bang, int, float, list. Function depends on the list. Well, let's see what it does. We're going to steal these. We're going to copy. We're going to get out of here. We're going to paste these. Let's see what they do. Send them to MIDI out. So, ostensibly, this should pass MIDI to generate. And there's a note. Great. Sounds like C. And that looks like a note off. Alright. What is this 144? Where does this say? I guess we could Google this. So, MIDI out. Max for live. Let's say... Beardpill says, what does MIDI in do? Or what does the help say? The help didn't say anything very helpful, I have to say. MIDI in just takes MIDI from whatever you pass it and passes it through, I suppose. You know, that might be a good way to figure this out, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Let's put a print in here. We'll print what MIDI in says, and then let's see what we're getting from, say, our keyboard over here. And let's save this as PS3 new MIDI. Cool. MIDI out, max for live. Arguments might tell us something. MIDI out reference. List. The numbers are transmitted sequentially as individual bytes of a MIDI message to the specified port. Ugh. We don't want to do bytes. But, you know, alright. I wonder if note in and note out works. That's probably more what we want. Oh, you know, I bet 144 just means it's a note. I bet that's it. I bet 144 just means this is a note that we're talking about, not a controller. You know, that's probably it. But here, let's take a look at this for a sec. Open the Max print window. If we have MIDI enabled, we should be able to see some stuff from a keyboard. I bet that that's the thing. Yeah, alright. If I turn velocity off for a second, we should get 127 and 0 exclusively. We're getting groups of 3 here. Oh, probably... Ah, yeah, okay. So 65 is our note, probably. C... Yeah, there's C60. So the second note, the second number that we get is the note number. I'm holding the note down right now. So this means 144 is a note. 60 is the note number. 127 is the velocity. So we've got a number that says, hey, this is a note. We've got a number that says this is the note number, so C, and a number that says velocity, and that's 127. And when I let go, we get 128, and I bet that designates a note off in the MIDI spec. Here's the note number again. We're saying we're turning off number 60. And then 64, I don't know what that means, but we can probably ignore it. So, and the reason I say that is because it looks like we can just use 60 and 0 to the same effect. So if I say 127, and I get 0, if we were to turn this to a pad or something, we'd probably hear better that the note sustains until we turn it off. Let's try that. On, off. Alright, cool. So I'm curious, do we have to use MIDI in and out? Could we use note in and out? Because that's what we've already been using, and that would be way easier. Note out. Note in. So let's try the same kind of thing here. If we were to go 60, well, let's open the help file. I don't remember if we need commas. No, we don't. All right. So if we do this, my question is, does Ableton understand it? We're going little bit by little bit. If we get this sorted out, then we can just plug our patch directly in. That's the whole idea. Beardpill says 64 for aftertouch. Yes, that's probably the case. The note off object has a property called aftertouch, perhaps? Yep, that could be it. I'm not sure if the keyboard I am using sends aftertouch or not. Which is funny because I kind of helped with making it, so I should remember these things, but it was a lot of years ago. Yeah, it's probably aftertouch, though. That's a good call. Alright, let's see if this works. It does! Alright, joy. Cool. You know what that means, chat? That means it's time for some magic. Maybe. Let's see if this works. So, alright, here's our new fangled patch. If we were to say note in, note out, whoops, note out. Oh my god, type. Note out. Clearly I need more tea. Or maybe I need more beer. We're going to pass this through. We're going to go in here. Unlock this. We're going to select all of this. We're going to paste it over here. Yes. Okay. I didn't like opening this B patcher. That's alright. Interesting. We're not going to do that because I don't want to deal with file pathways. Instead, we're going to stay in here where this patch works. And instead of doing MIDI in to out, what am I doing? We have, this is why it's getting confused. We do not want plug in, plug out here yet. We instead just want MIDI, because we want to be able to put this. Shots of your keyboard in the Discord, please. Yeah, we can talk about that. Yes. OMG type. Yes, you can quote me on that. Let's see. MIDI in, MIDI out. And what I'm doing right now here is I'm just putting a through here so that we can have this patch be before the instruments that we're controlling. That's all. Okay, that's the first step. Save. We have some errors. It doesn't like that. Whatever, that's from the other patch. Close. We're going to delete this because we might not need it. Can we drag this over here, please? No! Why? Fuck you! Fuck you! Maybe if I close it and reopen it. Come on now. Where is it? Is it because it's saved in here, maybe? Show and Finder. And it might be because... Alright. I bet this needs to live in the other fucking folder. And we probably need to bring this with it. Alright. This. 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 Where is this? So we're in an audio effects folder, and so I'm pretty sure Ableton is convinced this is an audio effect. That's the problem we're having right now. So we want desktop going to music, Ableton. We're going to close this first so that things don't get confused. And now we're going to drag these over to the correct folder. We want the audio of Ableton. Oh, come on. Where is this? User library presets. And we want audio effects. MIDI effects. Right. Max MIDI effect. So we're going to take our mapper. We're going to take map selected parameter because we need that. Any of these other subpatchers. I bet we need this. And these. We will review these at the end, chat, but the idea is that if we have B-patchers and sub-patchers, we have to make sure that they are all in a place that Max can find them. So I'm going to drag all of these over to here. No. Over to here. Thank you. Thank you. Now we're going to open Ableton again. We're going to all cross our fingers. Let's open that set back up. And this is that little linchpin where if you get this bit to work, then everything else should fall into place like magic. Copy instead of move? Yes, that is because I am afraid of fucking things up that already exist. Our max patch that lives over here in actual Max MSP, not Max for Live, depends on things being able to be found in its location. And so I am loath to delete things and then fuck them up over here. I would rather spend another couple megabytes and not break things, so I make copies of them. That is the idea. And we'll clean it up later. That's definitely on the list. So now, under MIDI effect, we should see, there's our PS3 new MIDI, and yeah, alright. Last name on test notes. Interesting. I thought we moved our mapper, but we didn't. Interesting. It really thinks that's an audio effect still. That's so weird. Converting audio to Midi. Oh no, that's not what we want. Oh, this is so weird. Alright. Well, this one works. I guess we can just go back to copying and pasting like a caveman. Copy. Open this up. Paste. Okay, it found the bee patcher this time because we dragged it over. Okay, so that mission accomplished. Cool. Now, yeah, alright, awesome. So now we don't need this stuff. We can leave this alone. This should all still be in presentation the way we want it. Let's make it so this patch will open in presentation mode. Oh, that's live comment. Nope, that's not what we want. There we go. We want open in presentation. That's the patch inspector. Alright. And now, instead of this guy, we figured out that node out will work. So here's the magic that I was thinking of. Instead of choosing our new patch, we're going to actually go back to the other patch. I bet it's going to just work. Here's hoping. So, let's go to presentation mode. Let's put this somewhere we can see it. Hello. That is in presentation. Okay. That's presentation. Oh, it's just hidden. Oh yes, that's right. Where's our other thing? Oh lord, we have 2 copies. Okay. Where's my other thing? I need to look at the original one. Hold on. I should probably save this before I crash something. Save. Okay. Okay, everybody happy? Everybody's happy. Yeah, mission accomplished part 2. Thank you. Yeah, we're getting there. Alright. Where's the show hide crap that we figured out? Here we go. So we're using square right now. We need a this patcher, we need a square. We need to tell this to show, not hide. Let's get out of presentation. This doesn't need to be in presentation. Where'd it go? There it is. Remove from presentation. This is just temporary. We want to say show. All I want to do is fucking get the notes to go. Show. Thank you. Thank you. There it is. Alright. Lovely. Lovely. Save. Thank you. Close. Now we get to get rid of this guy. Boop. And now, with any luck, we connected. Would be good to have some feedback on that. Square button should be doing its thing. Let's give it a note. How about C? C is good. Alright, we are connected. Good. Alright. Oh yeah, we need some velocity. Let's do that. Alright. We've got Midi enabled here. We have no sound. All ins. Audio to master. If I play this, we're getting sound. Alright. Alright, so probably something with this note out. I was kind of hoping that that would just work. Let's put this down. Let's see where the break in the chain is. So we went back to the original here with this note out object. Okay. I wonder what this is. That's interesting. Maybe that's what we want. So I noticed it didn't really have a port selected. It was going to the DLS synth. We have this new output here. PS3 new Midi. And that's our patch. Save. Could that do it? So if I go to C again, or whatever that is. And let's reselect our controller. Nope, still nothing. Alright, let's go back to our other strategy. We don't want to handle note out inside of here because I can't click on it, I can't do anything with it. Let's open our other beat patcher, the one with the outlets. We're going to say choose, we're going to say note button M for live. Close that. Alright, now we have outlets. Note out. So just for shits and giggles, we saw this worked. 60, 127. If we just send a message in here... Oh yeah, there was no comma. That works. So if I were to go... I mean, this is what we were doing inside of the patch. Maybe we don't even need a pack here. Let's just do this. Let's connect it up like this. Maybe Ableton just didn't like it inside of a beat patcher. So let's select a note here. 60. Lucky 60. Select our PlayStation controller. On, off. Nothing. Alright. Do we need to select something here? No. Alright, that's not working. Let's try the message again. 60, 127. So that works. But somehow our patch isn't. Alright, let's see what we're getting out of here. Print. Something is not right about how this is talking to note out. And you see why it's important to separate things out into different pieces now. We need to figure out something is not going correctly between this and this. It's definitely a break right there. Let's get rid of all that. That's old. Whoops. I didn't mean close the whole thing. Clear. Wrong X button. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. Where's that all coming from? Is it coming from here? Surely not. No, it's not. Okay. Where's our other print? We're getting a lot of extra shit printed out here. We must have a print hidden somewhere, but what's important is these guys. We have... See, I labeled this print notes, so we can see that the relevant ones are right there. So we're only getting the stuff we expect out there. Fine. So, maybe all we need is a pack? Maybe it just needs one message. Hey, there's people here! Oh my goodness, sorry, I was debugging something and very involved in it. Hello, Ann! How are you doing? It's so good to see you. Joy of missing out. Don't you need a note off? Note off can be replaced by a, just a 0 velocity. That'll work. And Beard Pills, is the patch only sending 60, 127 when it needs 144, 60, 127? Good question. So that's what we would need if we were using this MIDI out object up here, because this is for generalized MIDI. That needs it to, we need to tell MIDI out this is a note as opposed to a continuous controller or something like that. But we have tested this. A note out object already knows it's a note, so all we need to do is tell it which note. And if we send it 60, 127, that would be a note on of note number 60 at velocity 127, then we know it works. And if we send it Joy of Missing Out, you mentioned note offs. That's a really good question as well. If we send it 60 and 0, that would be a note off. So there's a note, and there's a note off. Has a long release. We know that works. Something about how we're talking to it from here is not working. And yeah, so we're getting really close. And yeah, thanks for dropping in, Andreama. It's so good to see you. We're trying to hook some stuff in directly in Ableton as opposed to having this be a separate patch, because that moves us one step closer to having this be just a native Ableton thing that you can open up as many of them as you want to, and then it's going to actually be a synth next. That's the plan. Alright, so my theory is that this needs to be one message. Let's try a pack. So we're going to say pack I. That means 2 integers, so we're going to take velocity in this side, and we're going to take notes in this side, and then we're going to just send that to note out, because that's kind of what we've seen work. Let's try that. Okay. So this is saying that we're getting 60 and 0. That's interesting. We're not getting a note on? Is it because I saved it? Here we go. 60 again. Oh, the velocity is 0 here. Maybe it's because we need the D-pad to send something. I bet we're just getting note offs. Maybe that's it. Okay, where was the D-pad thing? Okay. So remember, if we hit left, we get quieter notes. If we hit right, we get louder notes. But I didn't actually put that into this part of the patch yet. And thank you, and I'm glad you think it's neat. Yeah, we're moving along. This is soon it's going to actually be... Right now it's still a MIDI controller, but then we're going to be actually making sounds in here. And even looking into some granular stuff that you might dig. Since I know anyone here who hasn't checked out Andreamia's stream, let me just give a shout out real quick. They do amazing stuff with granular synthesis. They are a wizard with granular. 30 days of songs using nothing but aluminum foil. That's what Andreamia just finished. It's really impressive. So go and check them out on Twitch. It's fucking awesome. Alright, I need my other patch. Open recent. Silver Machine. Oh yes, and anyone new here, that's what we're going to be calling it. If you're not familiar with Hawkwind, go listen to the song Silver Machine. I'd play it here, but I'd get muted. And that's what we're naming this after. It's going to make sounds like that. Okay, where's our D-pad crap? Here we go. Yes. This is what we need. This little section. And again, little sections of patches. We also probably need this, now that I'm thinking about it. This is the octave up-down controls. Let's steal that. Alright. Yeah, this isn't too out of control yet. Let's put this down here. Cool. And actually, there's no reason to not just put this in a subpatcher. There we go. We're going to call this little section D-pad. Look at that. So little. So that's the hope. Save. Let's look at it. So this receives our pad left, right. Yep, okay. And that sends D-pad velocity out, which makes it default to 64, which is sort of a middle velocity. And that I'm thinking we'll fix this issue because I'm seeing we're getting 0 velocity. And that would explain why we're not hearing stuff. Alright, chat. Big money, no whammy. Let's go. We're going to make this C. Now I'm seeing a velocity number here. This is why it's important to have number boxes everywhere so you can see when shit is working and which shit isn't inevitably. I hit save, so we probably need to reselect our controller. We have sound! Oh my god! You didn't think that'd be so hard, huh? But here we go. We got it. Fuck yeah. Alright, so you know what? That's fucking awesome. Mission accomplished, part 3. I'm curious, now that we know what was wrong, I'm gonna do something dangerous, chat. D for dangerous. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna do a save as, because I'm not that stupid. And I'm gonna delete this. And I'm gonna change this back over to our other patch. Because I think the only problem was that we didn't have the velocity stuff in there. Let's see if this works. Alright. Everyone cross your fingers. We got that. Are we getting some velocity stuff? We are. Let's pick a note. It works! Oh my god, yes! Oh my god, I'm so happy, thank you. To the gods of Max MSB, and to all of you, we didn't fuck it up. So, that is fucking awesome, and you know what that means. Now we get to jump over here, and we get to just copy and paste all of these, without having to redo all of this. Hooray! All of these. And then we can play notes. Copy. All except for square, actually. Though, we can just delete that. Alright. Get out of here. Delete. Paste. Okay. And we want all of these to have the same presentation. So let's see where we're at in presentation mode. This guy. We're going to have to relay these out probably. Oh yeah, I guess we need all our show hide stuff, but yeah, this makes sense. This is probably a good place to put these for now. So if I do that, alright, that's fine. We need to copy over our show hide stuff, then we'll be good. Open. Let's make that, yeah. Our presentation presentation rectangle should be the same for all of these. What did I do? Whoa. Okay. Unlock. All of these we want to be the same there. Same there. Hopefully that will work. Yep, they're all lined up. Nice. Let's save that. Let's come over here. Let's unlock this. Alright, now we just need all of this show hide stuff, which we can also put into a sub patcher and clean up a bit more later. Just moving this out of the way a little bit. Yep. So I can see that this is all nicely encapsulated to one section here. Let's encapsulate it here, why not? Yeah, so this is show hide. Let's call it that. And when we're done with this, then I'm going to go make popcorn, and it's going to be awesome. Save. I probably shouldn't have saved that. I hope I didn't break anything. Yes, mission accomplished part 3. We are getting there. Let's get out of presentation mode, unlock, and paste. So we're kind of cleaning as we go here. We have our D-pad section, we have our show hide section, and let's just make sure that we're getting input here. We should see some buttons flash here. PlayStation 3. Yep, okay. We're getting some buttons. Groovy. And I think what we were hearing just there was coming from here. Let's go ahead and close this so we don't have any cross-channel stuff. Alright. So now when I hit these buttons, we should... Okay. Stuff's happening. We're still only seeing square button. Why? Okay. We need to be able to see what we're doing so we can assign some notes. Alright. Let's get in here. Triangle button. Trigger, bang, show triangle. Ah, yes. So we show one of them, we hide the rest. Yep. Alright, let's just check triangle. Are we getting a triangle hit? We are. Alright, so this is coming in there correctly. We trigger a bang to hide all the other ones. That might be what's not happening. Copy. I have a hunch, chat. And that hunch is that we actually have to have this patcher inside of, you know, this patcher. It didn't like being in a sub-patcher. That's my guess. So let's put this over here. Save. And you know what? That's good because we kind of want to see these buttons anyway. But not right now. So L1. Yep, there we go. We are getting some sounds. I bet we're just sending, like, note number 0, though. So that's fine. Is this showing and hiding now? It is! Okay, groovy. Nice. And here's our little indicators from the bigger patch. We're hitting real close. Oh my god. Alright. Let's make these smaller. We might actually be able to do something awesome here. So that's for triangle. That is for square. That is for X. And this is for circle. And then we had L2, L1. Let's put them up here. And there should be an R2, R1 here somewhere. There they are. Ah, here we are. Okay. We can jazz this up a bit more later. I just want to make sound right now. But we're actually getting pretty jazzy, more than I thought we would. Scoot these over just a little bit. Picture is smaller, so we need to kind of reimagine this, but there we go. Take all of this and scoot it over a little. There we go. Nice. Scoot these up just a little bit. Command Y to line them up. Scoot them. Lock. Alright. Save. Okay. Nice. And now we scooted our scales in here. We should be able to assign a scale. Let's do Pretty sure we're in A Phrygian for this song. So we'll do that. We have velocity. Yep. We're just in a really low octave. Let's come up a little. Yep. Sick! Oh my god. That was tough, chat. Look at that. Alright, we can close it now and just play with it inside Alive. Holy shit! You guys, that was tough. Why isn't it finding our picture? It was before. Come on now. Where'd our picture go? Gimme. Oh, it's because we didn't move that over. Fine. Presets, audio effects. Okay. Max audio? Where's that fucking JPEG? Give me the fucking JPEG. Come on. PS3 controller JPEG. Show and Finder. You need to be inside of this folder. Documents. No. We want music. We want Ableton. See, if I'm not specifying a path, it's just going to look in the current folder. That's the thing we're having here. User library presets. And we want max brain stopping, max MIDI effect. I'm gonna copy that over there. Good. Groovy. Close, save. There it is. Nice. Okay. Yeah, we've got a little less space to work with, but here we go. Let's select our controller. Nice. And now we can see what buttons we're hitting, and you can see over here that it's actually corresponding to the scale patch over there. So we can see, yeah, you can see that's X button and yada yada. It changes when we actually press a button. Nice. We just need to put our scale somewhere we can see it. Let's put that here. Cool. All right. Yeah. It's coming along. We need to do a little sketching on our interface, but yeah, all right. So Phrygian, A. Select the controller. Nice. All right, let's put a little arpeggiator in because that's fun, and then we get to actually play stuff. Oh my god, we did it, chat. That was tough. MIDI effects, arpeggiator. I said arpeggiator. Thank you. Let's do 16th notes. Nice. M. And some nice, gravy, and throw a delay and reverb on there just to make everything tasty. Let's jam. Put some distortion on this bitch. Sick. Alright, we're gonna call that a fucking stream, chat. Thanks, Andromia. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. That was super difficult, but totally worth it. And I'm so glad you could be here for the moment of triumph. Let's go raid somebody, what do you say? Thank you again for chilling, that was really fun. And, oh yeah, let's go kick it with Portal Walker. He is always fun. Happy Saturday night, everybody, and I'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.